Hello, this is a little demonstration of how to check for normality in the sample of data you collect. I'm using the example I gave in the lecture about the test anxiety under conditions of the prayer ceremony and the late night study session. So in order to do it, you're going to do these 4 steps: create histograms, check the QQ plots, look at the Shapiro-Wilks statistic, and check skew and kurtosis. So let's go ahead and do this. We have to do it for each sample. So I'm going to go to the insert menu and check on histogram. Don't use the bar chart one this time. Go all the way to the histogram one, and let's click on that. And before you do that, select your data. Let's do this first for our first sample. We'll go to insert histogram, and there it is. Now that particular histogram is pretty meaningless, so it's only got 2 bins. So first off, I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so it fits our space. And secondly, I'm going to change the axis. So in order to do this, in order to change the axis so it's more meaningful, you need to click off of your chart and then click back on it down in this area on the x-axis. And you'll see that it gets highlighted in this way. Well, it has these markers on these 4 corners here. Right click and don't lose it like I just did. So we're going to go back to it. And then while you're there, right click on it and go to Format Axis. And the menu that'll come up will look like this. And yours might be here with this. It might be here with this, but you want this last one right here. And just change the number of bins to a bigger number. I'm going to go with 10. That's a good choice to just be able to see your data a little bit better, and just hit enter. And so now we can get a look at this data a little bit more, and we can see what the histogram looks like. And it doesn't look seriously non-normal, so maybe we're going to be okay with this. I'm just going to move down these prompts that I had. You can set yours up your own way. I just wanted to have them set up here in advance of class. So, oops, let's do that again. All right, so we can go ahead and do the same for the second plot. We'll insert the histogram and select the data, go to your insert menu and click on the histogram again. And there we go, another one that doesn't really inform us of anything. So let's click on that so we get the horizontal axis selected, and right click, we get to the format axis bin. And here we get to this third category over here on this menu. Let's once again check. So we have 10 bins and hit enter. And this one is a little wonkier, so we'll see what happens here. I'm going to shrink it down and pull it over here to our underneath our data set. So yeah, I would say it's hard to tell with small n. This could be perfectly normal, so we'll just wait and see what we get when we do some of our statistics. I don't particularly see skew. I see, this might be sort of an outlier, so let's see what we get. One other thing we can look at with this is we can look at the range and predict what our variances might be. We can see these both go from 21, this one goes to 34, this one to 32. We can see that their variances might not be too far off. We might be okay there. Next, we check our QQ plots. So I'll just make a comment on this. Looking at the histograms, I would say it doesn't appear to be seriously non-normal. Remember, it's hard to tell with these small sizes. So to go to our QQ plots, remember we're using this online tool to create this, and this is the tool we're using. And to do so, I'm going to split our screen here for this part of the demo. And we're just going to grab our data again. I'll grab this first column of data. I'm just going to do it this way and reset it. I think there are more efficient ways we could upload our data and do other things, but I'm just doing it this way as I did before. So we're going to paste upload data. We get this. I already pasted it in to do a dry run. I unclicked this box. My data has header, and now we can import the data. And we now go down and we select this column under here, select column 1, and write generate QQ plot. if we scroll down from here, we do get our QQ plot. I'm going to select it and get into the spreadsheet where we can look at it a little bit more closely. Let's see. I'm going to maximize this for a moment here so I can. It looks like we can download it. I think I'm actually just going to take a screenshot. I think that's going to be the better way to go. So okay, I'm going to reduce it and we can do these two in one step. So now I've just zoomed in on the size. I'm going to get out my snipping tool working on a PC, and I'm going to go ahead and select it. And then I'll add some comments at the end. So let's paste this in. All right, and so now we've got our Shapiro-Wilk statistic and our QQ plot. When I look at this QQ plot, it seems like it's remotely possible that we could have a little, I see this tiny S shape going on, so there could be some kurtosis. Just based on the S shape of the data points. And if I look down at the Shapiro-Wilk statistic, however, I find that we're actually okay on this one because we know that first off, our p-value is well above. Let's just write that down here. Let's write the Shapiro-Wilk. W equals 0.9805. And we know the P is greater than 0.05. It equals 0.9870. And this allows us, I'll write a little more detail here, because the P value is greater than 0.05. We fail to reject the null hypothesis. And this means that we have a non-significant result. Our sample data is not significantly different from the normal distribution. Might not look like it, but that is true. Okay, so that's that part. And then we need to do that for both. I'm actually going to crop this out. I'll leave it as it is, I guess. I'm going to crop it a little bit so we have a little bit more room here. Let me just trim this off the side. That'll give us room for our other data set. Now we do the same for the other data sets. So let's grab these data. I'm going to have them copied here, and I'm going back into our tool to reset. So I'm just going to hit reset and enter in some more data, paste upload data. Now I'm going to put in the other data set. Let's import it. Now we'll select it again, the column 1, and generate a QQ plot. That's a little bigger. And there's our result. It doesn't look too bad. Possible suggestion of skew in this C shape, but I don't think it's going to be a problem actually. And once again, we can look at our statistic and we see that 0.9779 is high. We want a test statistic around 1. Anything less than 0.9 would be problematic, but we're well within that range, and our p-value is quite high, so we're also in good shape here. I'll get a screenshot of this, just like I did before, to evidence the work I did here in testing it. Once we get our new tool going, the PSPP, all this will be done for us. But for now, since we're just working on understanding what these mean, let me just grab that. Let's put it over here. So I'm going to post this in down here. And once again, I'll just say the very same thing. Change the numbers a little. W equals 0.9779. Again, we want to be close to 1, and the p-value is 0.9570, if I'm seeing that correctly. And once again, same rationale, we have a normal distribution. The last thing we are going to do, though, is to check for skew and kurtosis. We'll just do that for the sake of working in Excel. And so let's go ahead and hit skew equals skew, and we'll just select the data. And we want to be below 1 here. If we remember what our rule of thumb is for skew, we can look on the quick tip sheet that's posted for you. We can say the rule of thumb for skew, if it's 0, it's perfectly symmetric. And the rule of thumb is that if it's less than 0.5, it's normal enough. So we do have less than 0.5 is normal enough. And for kurtosis, let's do the same. Kurtosis. The formula is just Kurt. Select our data. And once again, we need to have it be below 1. Our quick guide shows us that we need to have the rule of thumb less than 1 is normal enough. We do have less than 1, considerably less than 1. So we're good there. Let's do the same over here. Wonder if I can just copy and paste and get it in the right spot. I kind of doubt it. So I'm just going to do it over. So we'll check skew and kurtosis. Grab the data from the other sample. And we'll interpret these in a moment. All right. And we do have both numbers. Less than 0.5 is normal enough, less than 1 is normal enough. So we can interpret it this way. We can conclude that these data are normal enough to work with for our statistical test.